Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Night News Hour with your favorite threesome. I'm just going to play the news intro.
From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB.
Good evening, everybody. This is Dan Rather. You're watching CBS News. Now,
Oh, damn.
This is a special edition here on February 17th, 2024 of The Garage, which is usually known as Collision After Dark. But we decided, kind of impromptu, that we were going to do a special show for you guys. Since there was no Collision tonight, in lieu of AEW Collision, we are doing all effing wrestling news.
Yeah, and this is our second episode. We did this last week.
Yeah.
We're keeping it going.
We're keeping it going. We're doing a special Saturday evening edition. Primetime news is very important, guys. And we are here to scratch that itch. So if you're very itchy, we're going to send EVP Joe over. He's going to scratch you. It's going to be a great time. This is the best threesome.
I'm, of course, the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada effing Dry, damn it.
All right, and let me finish my introduction now. I am the effing expert, Mr. Isaacs, and our number 3 man, the triangular point of our threesome here on Saturday night. Go ahead and introduce yourself, fine sir.
Last but not least, it's me. It's me. It's that EVP. How are we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Good God.
You know why EVP Joe is important, so important to this threesome?
He's an American hero, for one thing.
Well, that, and he brings the lube. He gets that deal on lube. We can't get the cheap prices that he gets on lube.
Well, he finds the economical stuff. Like it's probably great value brand, but it's like made in the same Chinese factory as like the KY. So
hey, I learned it from the military.
Right.
Cheap spitter, you know.
Now, Joe, can you confirm something for me? Because I saw somebody say online, because everybody says the term military grade, like that makes it like it's a better product.
It's not.
But, yeah, I read online that military grade actually means it's like probably a lesser product. Is that true?
It is the highest. It is the highest bidder for the cheapest product. It is when you say, "Oh, military grade," that's not the compliment you think.
Now, doesn't it depend what it is, though?
Maybe. I mean,
like if you're getting a gun and you say military grade, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard. I mean, like it's a gun. You're not like it's.
Now, if you're saying a military grade T-shirt,
it's just a T-shirt.
Like,
it's not. There's nothing special about it. It's like going to Walmart picking up a 3-pack of Hanes T-shirts.
Yes, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It depends what it is.
It's not like this high quality stuff. Most of the time, it's just
you got a military grade Jeep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish I could see who the Facebook users are.
Yeah, I know. There's a Facebook user who there's no name attached to any of these.
But one of the Facebook users says, I spent 10 years in the military. Military grade is garbage. See, that's kind of what I read.
Just so you know, we're streaming on Facebook as well as YouTube tonight.
I was going to ask you, I was like, why are we seeing Facebook user comments on this?
Yes. Remember we talked we were going to start streaming The Garage on Saturday nights on Facebook as well to see if we can get a little bit more people subscribed to our YouTube account.
See if we get some late night freaks.
So whoever this is that's talking to us, you need to do 2 things. One, could you put your name in the chat so we know who we are? But also, if you go up to the top of this post, there's you're able to give StreamYard permission to show your name.
Yeah, you just click the StreamYard thing at the top of this stream here on Facebook, and you can have your full Facebook profile shown here on the stream.
We would like to see your purty face
Yes.
instead of just the silhouette of a possible man, possible woman. You know how like sometimes like the old instant messengers when you didn't put a profile picture up and it had the ambiguous photo that kind of looked like it could be Ronald McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you didn't know if it was a man or a woman, but it was purposely androgynous, so it could be either.
That's true. But should we play our? We started our intros. We did our all that kind of stuff. So let's play Around the Effing Galaxy. Put on your seatbelt, guys.
And we're good to go.
This is your captain speaking. Put your seat in its upright position, and EVP Joe will give you a snack. Or a smack, whichever one.
And a foot rub.
You can pick. Nah, no foot rubs, not today.
Imagine having to do that. And like a foot rub, like they just have to sit there and do that.
It's mandatory, pal. You don't have a choice. You have to get your foot rubbed, damn it.
Mandatory foot rubs.
Mandatory foot rub. Well, what is the first item that we have on our agenda here?
I sent you the list.
You want me to go through the list?
Yes, if you could go through the list, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna look through these, and I don't know if I'll go in sequential order or not. I'll just
before we get into this, we have someone backstage,
mm-hmm.
and we can maybe talk to him before we get everything going with the
news.
Let's
do it. Bring him in, he or she.
All right, let's see who this. Hey, Caleb, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, all effing West Wind?
That's my man, Caleb. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, Mr. Isaac.
Awesome. What are you doing this evening? Are you watching some wrestling back? Or are you like, because there's no football or anything now. So what are you doing tonight?
I was in Paris or something because no AEW Toulouse is not on tonight.
No,
I have
no
news for you, Caleb.
Yes, Aaron.
Power Rangers.
Watch it.
Here we go then.
You are in the minority here, Canada Dry. You might want to stop it.
No, yes, please.
Listen, I'm pretty sure the F and expert does not like Power Rangers.
He does. We talk about this in Mexico wrestling.
I watched I think the first season or two of it.
Yeah, that's how you realize I'm killing brain cells by watching it.
Well,
it's so good.
Age, so I kind of quit watching at that point.
Oh my goodness! You gotta grow up at some time, Caleb.
I am grow up.
Dude, Power Rangers are gonna rot your brain. Oh my goodness! I'm hearing backstage. We have someone here. Oh, it's Caleb's girlfriend.
Hi, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm still heartbroken.
Yeah.
Sorry for touching back about how you back. Sorry.
Now hold on here because I need a little context. I have not been on the program since this incident apparently went down.
Nope.
Can you give me Caleb's ex-girlfriend? Can you give me a reason? Kind of give me a synopsis of what happened here. Fill me in.
We went to Outback Steakhouse the other night for Valentine's Day, and he didn't give me a Valentine's Day gift, nor did he hold the door open.
Oh my god!
And watching him eat chicken fingers at a steakhouse, that was very, very sad.
Oh,
chicken fingers at a steakhouse.
Yeah.
Did you question his manhood at all?
Mr. Isaac still not for this crap.
Mr. Isaacs.
Okay, I got to come to bat for my boy Caleb here. Caleb's ex, did you get Caleb a Valentine's Day present?
I dolled myself up that night.
Oh, that's true.
That doesn't count. Nope. If I'm going to give Caleb a hard time for what he does, you don't get a break. Nope. Doing your makeup doesn't count. Sorry.
Dear God, what is that you on my side or her side?
Can't believe this.
I feel
He
like
is
Judge
evil.
Judy. I'm like stuck in the middle here.
Yes, you are the middle of this.
And Joe Horvath, yes, we can see you now. You're good. You did it right.
Anything you
Excellent.
want to say? Maybe to your ex-girlfriend, Caleb?
Oh, hey, we're doing, damn. We talk about this over the week, but I'm really excited to see you back. But I know you're heartbroken, but it's those are over sensitive over their feelings. But I'm not here to be mean. But Mr. Isaac, Joe, and Aaron are always my brothers. Will always be my brothers. X, I don't know who you are. I know it's like Alex Haney, but I don't know who you are.
If it was
wanna
Haney,
say
it would
something
be
to
like
that?
what 4 a.m.
Yes, it is Alex Haney. I know that voice.
Are you in fact Alex Haney?
I can tell you I'm not Alex Haney.
Yes, you are. It's Alex one.
I
Oh, hey, we're doing, John.
sorry, what was that?
Dear
So
Doug,
Caleb
please
is
come in
dating.
here.
Is that what we're getting at?
Mm.
I gotta go now. I gotta go to the bathroom. You guys have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
I did nothing to her. Nothing at all.
So
She
see-
said you broke her heart.
Guys,
I-
I learned something new tonight. I learned that Caleb was possibly dating Alex Haney.
I'm not Day. I'm not Dallas.
Anyways, we gotta go. We'll see you later, Caleb. Thank you so much.
No more done.
Before we get flagged here, we'll talk to you later. Oh my goodness! What do you think of that?
Hey, give the kid a break. Like that's probably the only like gay person he knows. So
That's
yeah.
fair.
That's probably why he just
Let's just
immediately
say-
went
Oh, I
mad.
was worried about
Caleb-
that last comment.
Caleb's words does not reflect that of effing wrestling.
No. We are an all inclusive society here at All F and Wrestling. We love everybody.
We got Lord Ryan Rich backstage.
Let's bring him in. Mr. Rich, what's
Thanks
going
for
on,
waiting,
sir?
Lord
brother?
Ryan Rich.
What's up, y'all?
Not much. How you
Good, my
doing?
man. What's on your mind this evening?
Oh, I'm just relaxing in my NWO gear, drinking some Miller Lite, enjoying a Saturday night.
Hell yeah, my man.
He sounds a bit tipsy here.
How many of
Nope.
those have you gotten deep
I'm
in?
only on my fourth beer. I'm not even anywhere near close tipsy.
You're buzzed though, right? I can tell you're buzzed.
No,
No? Okay.
I'm literally just relaxing.
Okay.
This
Awesome.
is Lord Ryan Rich, unplugged.
Do
Unplugged.
we want to keep Rich around for our first news segment?
I'm good with it.
All right.
I'm good with it.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pick an AEW one because I don't think he watches WWE. So I've got a list here. I'm gonna pluck out of AEW. It's been reported that Matt Hardy was pissed with Sammy Guevara after a botch where he basically kneed Jeff Hardy directly in the face, doing a flip off the top rope. Gentlemen, I guess the first thing I have to know is, do you think this is legitimate or is it kayfabe? Is he just staying in character? And two, what do you think about Guevara knocking the hell out of Jeff Hardy? I will start with Canada F and Dry. What do you think of this?
I think from Matt Hardy's perspective, that this kid is a dangerous worker. I'm not saying Sammy Guevara is a dangerous worker, but from Matt Hardy's perspective, he's like, you hurt me, now you hurt my brother.
Yeah.
I would view him as a dangerous worker at this point.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it really wasn't his fault that Matt Hardy got.
No, I'm just saying what Matt Hardy's perspective will be.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
not saying anything other than that. So I think that from his perspective, he's like, this kid's fucking hurting everyone.
Right.
But even though it's only him and his brother so far, but yeah, I think it was legit. I think he was miffed, and I think he was quite upset. He fingered him twice in the ring.
Yeah. EVP Joe, what do you think of this?
I think it was an accident. I don't buy that Sammy Guevara went out there to literally try and drive his knee through Jeff Hardy's face. Sorry. It's a legitimate, like,
Well, no one's
You're-
saying that it's on purpose.
No. Well, what I meant by the legitimacy comment was, do you think Matt Hardy was actually legitimately mad, or was he kayfabing? Is what I was getting at.
He probably was, given everything he's going through in life right now. I would imagine there's some unrelated anger issues that probably just happened to fester over on this night.
Right. Better than your boyfriend. You're certainly better than mine, I can tell you that. Lord Ryan Rich, wax poetic. I know you like when I say that. Tell me what your thoughts are on the Sammy Guevara Jeff Hardy incident.
First of all, do you want to know what makes Lord Ryan Rich's nipples hard?
Oh my God. It is Saturday evening. Yes, sir. Tell me.
When the effing expert says wax poetic, that's what makes Lord Ryan Rich's nipples hard. So, go on about this topic. I want to say it's a little bit of both. Because I think, first of all, yeah, you're mad that your brother's nose just got broken, possible concussion, definitely got knocked out. But also, I think it plays in well with this whole storyline with Jeff slowly kind of going and then Matt following him down a broken pathway. So I think it served dual purpose, and I think Matt's smart enough to know when he can blur the line.
Yeah. My personal thoughts on this, and I'm going to be the one dissenter, I guess, here. I thought that Matt Hardy was just kayfabing and being upset. He was kind of like overdoing it a little bit and flipping Sammy off and everything. It just kind of seemed like a kayfabe thing to me. I'm sure he legitimately wasn't happy about it, but at the same time, I feel like he was kayfabing. So that's just my personal opinion.
And if you're watching right now from Facebook, please make sure you sign in to the StreamYard at the top. Give permission to show your name so we can see who you are.
Yeah, we don't know who you are.
Absolutely.
Don't be coming up in my space when I don't know who you are.
All right, I'll leave you in charge of that. Better than your boyfriend. If you can talk to them while they're going. I have someone else waiting backstage to get onto the next topic.
Talk to you
Happy
later.
Saturday night, y'all.
Later, bro.
Mr. Rich.
All right, we're bringing in Tiffany. She was on earlier today, so she'll be part of the next news story.
Miss Luna. All right.
Hello.
Hey,
It would have been cool to have us on together for the
Well, hello
first
again.
time, but okay.
Now, Luna, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah. I'm doing fine.
Are the Huskies doing well this evening?
Just
Are they
hanging
good?
in there.
The Huskies are good.
Yeah, the Huskies are good. I tried to share the picture of them earlier on the chat, but
Yeah. All right, what do we got news for with Tiffany to talk about?
Well, let's go back to the number one item we had on our list here. She might be interested in this. I don't know if she's a fan of this particular individual or not, but I'm going to find out. Jade Cargill was apparently going to be in the Elimination Chamber and was pulled from it, so that she remains looking strong. They're not going to put her out there when they don't feel like she's ready to perform at that high of a level. And I'm curious to see what you guys think about this one. Now, Luna, I know that you and Aaron have kind of had a little bit of a disagreement over this in terms of whether or not this individual should go to NXT or not. So I'm going to start with you. What do you think about Jade being withheld from the Elimination Chamber?
I think that maybe it was kind of the right decision. She still needs work, and I know that she's been working hard with Natty and TJ. I've seen around. I still think that she could probably use a run in NXT and kind of build her character up a little bit more. And yeah, I see you. Yeah. And just like I think she could use a small run. Yeah. In general in NXT. I really do. I'm sorry. Not sorry, Aaron. I see your facial expressions. Yeah.
Canada F and dry. I will allow you to retort.
I love to retort. See, the thing is, I don't think she's being withheld from the Elimination Chamber because she's not good.
Well,
She's being. I didn't interrupt you.
I'm
Come on.
sorry, but I didn't
Okay.
say she wasn't good. I'm just saying.
No, I'm
that
saying she's.
she needs to improve a little bit more.
No,
I
I
like
don't think she
Jade.
needs to. I don't think Jade needs to improve. I think the reason they are holding her back is for a big debut win. You can't have her first official match as a loss.
Right.
You can throw her over the Rumble, and it's not going to hurt her. But an actual match, she needs to win.
Mm-hmm.
If she doesn't win her very first match, it's silly.
Yeah.
I
So
do agree
I think
with
a
that.
big win at Mania is her debut.
Yeah.
Possibly against either Nia Jax or Bianca Belair.
Totally makes sense. EVP
Mhm.
Joe, what are your thoughts on Jade not being in the Elimination Chamber?
I think it's the right call. I think she's a garbage wrestler. She needs to go down to NXT and get better. Because let's think about this. Out of like 98% of her matches in AEW were all on tape delay, which means they could chop up and make her look good. She's
Right.
had a handful of live matches. She's not very good in the ring. And even on her pre-recorded matches, it's literally punch, kick, let me do my finisher, let's go home.
Right.
She's not good enough to go do a live match. I don't know if she's safe enough to be trusted in the Elimination Chamber. It is a very brutal match, very demanding match.
Yeah, that cage is more brutal than a regular cage match because of that steel platform they have around the outside of the ring. And that has legitimately hurt a lot of people that have been involved in that match.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on this, if an expert.
I was getting there. Canada
Okay.
Dry. But, my feelings on this, I kind of agree with everybody to an extent. Do I think Jade could benefit from developing more in NXT? Yes. But I don't think they're going to do that, though, because they're treating her like a gigantic star. So they're not going to shove her down the NXT.
Because why? Because it would hurt her, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't bring somebody in as a huge signing and then shove them down to NXT. That's just not, it's not a good look. Aesthetically, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
But she does need to learn her craft a little better. She is very green. And I think she's got some development that needs to be done. So I think that's what she's doing. She's down at the Performance Center. She's working.
I have
They're
to
gonna keep her
disagree with you,
off.
Mr. Isaacs, on the aesthetic of a big star going to AEW. I mean, to NXT. And you know why? Because if it's okay for Shinsuke Nakamura to go to NXT, it's
Okay,
more
okay.
don't even sit. No. I don't want to hear this. Oh,
No, you're gonna hear it. But go ahead.
AEW wasn't around. He wasn't in AEW. He was a New Japan guy. So guess what? Just like Nakamura needs to learn the WWE way, Jade needs to learn the WWE way.
And she is learning that. She is learning that without being on TV.
No, she's not. You
She
can't
is.
learn the WWE way of wrestling.
Of course you can.
No,
Of
you
course
can't. There's a reason why it's called the WWE way and not professional wrestling. WWE is a totally
Yes,
different
she's
animal.
learning that with the trainers of WWE at the Performance Center.
She still needs to go learn how to do it on camera, and they don't do that. They're not just going to let you go to the main
Okay,
roster. And do that.
I understand your point. But the thing is, you cannot afford, as the WWE, to scare free agents away by shoving stars in NXT. You
I have
can't.
to tell you, putting stars in NXT is going to be the least of their problems because Endeavor doesn't like to pay people. That's the number one issue. And you know how I know this? Because when Endeavor bought UFC, they let the biggest star in Francis Ngannou walk out the front door.
Yeah, guess what? Also NXT. You're going to get paid a lot less.
That
Yeah.
too.
I agree with everything Joe said.
Look,
Solid
look at-
opinion.
You know what? You're off the show. I don't know. We have another guest waiting backstage.
Well, before we do that, let
Okay.
me just point to Caleb's comment here. He wants you guys to clam down, okay?
Yeah.
Calm down.
I'm
Calm
sorry,
down,
my
Tiffany.
son was talking to me, and I was trying to. I hope it didn't interrupt anything.
No,
Thank
no, Luda, you were fantastic.
Are we done with this news piece?
I think we're done with this. I think we can go ahead and move on.
All right, Tiff. We'll see you later.
Talk to
Thank
you later.
Okay, I'll
Have
see
a
you
good evening.
guys.
All right.
Who do we have up next, Mr. Dry?
We have Tim Tobin, the Pancake Man.
Hey, the Pancake Man. What's up, brother?
All right. What topic do we have for the Pancake Man?
The Pancake Man. Let's see. I am going to pick The Rock debuts a new look at SmackDown, kind of going back to his old heel look. It's kind of an amalgamation, if you will, of his prior two iterations as a heel. It's the
That
silky
light
shirt.
behind Tim right now is so bright in my eyes.
It's
Yeah,
like
it
the
is.
sun. The sun is just beaming.
Yes.
Because
It's hot in
Tim
here.
is a ray of sunshine.
His
That's what it
halo's
is.
to the right.
But the shirt is kind of an amalgamation of the two heel looks of The Rock. It's the leather vest of the Hollywood era, but with the flashy design of the $1,000 t-shirt era from the Attitude Era. So it was kind of an interesting look.
Ricky Starks, he tweets, "I inspired this all."
Like, honestly, that's what I thought. And I even put it in our group chat. When he first came out, I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like Ricky Starks put on 20 pounds.
I think Ricky Starks originally copied that era of The Rock.
Yeah, do you mean Ricky Brainham? Yeah.
All right, well, I'll start with you, Tim, the guest of honor. You can slip me some pancakes later for letting you go number one here. And I like chocolate chip. Just remember that. What did you think of The Rock's new look, kind of harkening back to the old heel Rock? What did you think of it?
I think it's different. You know, like I like the old school Rock when he would debuted with Stone Cold and that WWE, was it the F era? I thought Rock better, but like we'll see how it does. Because I heard at Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, they're gonna have him and Reigns versus Rollins and Cody. So we'll see what debut he's gonna do at The Rock. Since he's head of
We have a question from Joe Horvath. Who outranks who, the Tribal Chief or the High Chief?
High Chief. I don't think Tribal Chief is a real thing. I think Tribal Chief is made up for WWE, but The Rock in real life is a High Chief with his tribe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So The Rock outweighs him?
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
Okay,
even
there
if it
you
was
go.
kayfabe, The Rock is a much bigger star than Roman Reigns will ever be.
Oh, of course.
So.
Yeah, of course. And I know that I saw a lot of people
rocking right now with all the people from Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, we've got people flying around everywhere. I love it. Let's get the engagement going. Keep it going. EVP Joe, I know you weren't a fan of the promo, but what'd you think of the look?
It was okay. I'm not really like, I know it's gonna be good, but I would much rather have like a corporate kind of Rock than how I don't see how Hollywood Rock fits into this. It makes no sense to me. I feel like there needs to be more of a corporate Rock to it. But I'll tell you what, that 15-minute promo was garbage. But like 2 promos before went late. That it was supposed to be a half-hour segment with Heyman putting over The Rock to begin that promo. I'm so glad that didn't happen because no one needs to put over The Rock. We all know who The Rock is. Like my biggest takeaway from this is the end of the promo. Everyone throws up the ones except for The Rock, who threw up an L or a gun, whatever you want to call it.
Kush says The Rock is a chief, just not from Kansas City.
Jeez. Canada F and Dry, what did you think of The Rock's
I enjoyed this, and let me say that I would have enjoyed Paul Heyman ranting about how good The Rock is because it's Paul Heyman, and when he gets on that stick, it's freaking gold.
Absolutely.
Every single time. Like, the guy can make Brock Lesnar look like a big deal.
Look, Heyman is good for people who can't talk on the mic. The Rock doesn't need it, though.
I don't know. I think it would have been fun. I enjoyed this, and it's not really Hollywood Rock. It's Hollywood Rock, corporate Rock fusion.
Right.
Is what it is.
And if I could just say, I like the promo because it kind of harkened back to the old school heel Rock. And plus, he came out and like made a polygamy joke in Utah. I mean, come on.
I like to smack the herpes off your lips. This is classic rock.
I thought it was funny.
Like
I liked it. I liked it. I miss those kind of heel promos.
Yeah, like getting like just a dick rock with this little clever one-liners.
A dick rock. So you're saying he's a kidney stone?
Oh my goodness.
Tim, have you ever had a kidney stone? I hope you haven't.
No, I never had it. I don't want it.
Oh,
I know people that had.
them.
I know people that had kidney stones and stuff, but
EVP Joe, have you had a kidney stone?
No.
Good.
I guarantee you one of us will have one.
Fuck. Don't say that.
They're not fun.
It's probably going to be me with my luck.
Next weekend, I'm going to be like, damn it, Aaron. I got a kidney stone. I can't do
You're
the
like,
show.
me too. And I'm like, I'm good.
All right, gentlemen. I think that does it for the rock segment. Are we
All
gonna
right, Tim, Tobin, thank you so much for calling in. We'll
say
talk
goodnight
to you
the
later.
Pancake Man?
yep, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Later,
I'll see
Bo.
you later, Tim.
Thanks for calling, brother.
It's
Do we have
interesting
anybody
show
else?
already so far. We got people calling in. We got ex-girlfriends getting mad. You know, it's quite the.
See, this is what I like. I like just kind of bouncing off of people and just talking shit. I mean, we could do this for forever. This is my kind of gig right here. Do we have anybody else backstage, or should we move on?
No,
to the
we're
next
good
topic?
for now. I'll let you know. If I go like that, it means they're trying to talk in my ear.
Yeah, you and Liam, you like to do the thing where you've got the imaginary earpiece in and a producer.
No, they're real. They're just really microscopic.
There's a producer telling you that somebody's backstage. Every time I see Liam do that, I'm like, bro, nobody's talking to you.
Nanotechnology. I'm telling you.
Nanotechnology. You've got the just get the little Tesla Neuralink deal and get it like
Oh
installed.
yeah, it's
behind
installed
your
in
ear.
Liam's brain. It wasn't cheap, but we
Yeah.
did get a 2-for-1 deal.
So that way you guys can just be linked up all the time. And,
Oh, trust me. You know, I'm in Liam's brain all the time. It's not a fun place to be. Half the time, it's ducks and fish and chips. I tell you, ducks and fish and chips.
ducks and fish and chips, and wondering what Earl Grey tea tastes like and if ginger ale is alcoholic. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The nice thing is he's sleeping right now. And he can't defend himself.
No. I can listen to this in a couple days and be like, what's that about, you son of a bitch?
You know,
All right.
he's the type of guy, though, you wouldn't want to make him mad.
No.
Because he's just so, like, if you're in front of him, you'd be like, yes, sir. He's just a big guy.
He's a freaking giant. I mean,
But
he
we
is.
could say he's honestly a teddy bear.
Yeah.
He's not going to, like,
No. But he certainly could if he wanted
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Like, he could just Incredible Hulk any of us if he wanted to. I mean, that's just.
So here's the thing. You say I have a news topic. You're a Facebook user. So if you want to be taken seriously, I got to find out who you are. So click that stream thing above. Like, I'm not going to take news things from a random stranger called Facebook user.
Well, one of them says that they have 2 Coors Banquet beers. So, you know, if we could get some pancakes from the Pancake Man, and if that person goes
Do you
forward with
think
some
that
beer.
Eric Newcomb, who's possibly cool.
No, I think Eric would be smart. Would make his name known.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, moving on here, we've got news that Chris Jericho is going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a sabbatical, if you will, as Fozzy goes overseas and is going to be touring Europe. Now, I got to know, do either one of you gentlemen, have you all ever really listened to Fozzy before outside of just Judas?
Nope.
Canada Dry?
No. Well, I have. When Judas came out, it's like, well, they had released some other songs. I'm like, well, let's see what they're like.
I mean, they've been around for like 20 years. Like, I think their debut album came out like the year after I graduated high school. They're not bad. I mean, I like some of their stuff. I mean, they're not my favorite band in the
But
world.
here's the thing. They would not have made it as far as they did if Jericho's not a pro wrestler in WCW, WWE, now AEW.
Absolutely not. I mean, absolutely not. I mean, Jericho is a mediocre singer, and I
It
don't
also
know.
depends what he's singing, I noticed, though.
Yeah, before we get into what we think about him going on tour and taking a sabbatical, I had sent Canada Dry a TikTok video of Jericho singing "Blinding Lights" by The Weeknd on his cruise, and he was dressed like Ronald McDonald, which he said was, I guess, supposed to be David Bowie,
Yes,
and
it was
he
ridiculous.
sounded like absolute dog shit singing that song. Canada Dry, did you think he sounded good at all singing
He
"Blinding
did not
Lights"?
sound good at all. No.
It was brutal.
I don't know if it's getting worse.
I don't know.
With the singing, it might be getting worse. Remember,
I'm
he used to
gonna
do those.
assume,
Remember, he used to do those Saturday night specials
yeah,
during the. He'd even sing in those, and he wasn't too bad.
yeah. He did the what was it? The what was it called? Quarantine or something like that. It was like a little
Yeah,
super band he put together, and
yeah. He would do a sing along on the
yeah,
Saturday specials on YouTube.
I remember when Sebastian Bach of Skid Row talked shit about him and said he wasn't a real musician, so he sang Skid Row's "I Remember You" and like completely butchered it. But anyways, he's going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus to go overseas. GM Joe, EVP Joe, whatever you're going by, GI Joe, American Hero. What do you think about Jericho taking some time off to go overseas here?
I mean, I thought it was good until last night when Powerhouse Hobbs attacked Sammy. Like I'm so over this Jericho vortex with the Callis family. Like, go away. Just do something. Go away from each other. Do something else. It feels like it's just Groundhog Day every week with this group. I don't get it.
Pivot, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't F and dry. Do you want to go over to Europe and maybe we could join Liam over there and watch some drunken Jericho tunes?
I think Jericho needs a little bit of a break from wrestling. I think longer than this.
Yeah, he needs to do what he used to do in WWE. Work a while, take an extended break, come back with a different gimmick.
Well, I think like you can only recreate yourself as the Lion Tamer 7 times, right? The 8th time is like it's like, okay, same guy, different name.
He's got a different trademark like every few months.
But yeah, it's just like you can't reinvent yourself that many times. I like the idea personally of bringing back the light bright jacket.
Yeah,
I think that would be a fun. And just like this ridiculous smile on his face, doing the whole gimmick all over again as if he didn't introduce it ever.
Yeah, absolutely. That jacket was cool as hell. I like the
That
jacket.
was before the list. That was just so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was absolutely awesome. I would like to see him try that in AEW. I think that would look really cool.
They did it once at the beginning, but it was just someone part of his entrance.
Yeah, it was like the little like the many faces of Jericho or whatever, right? Like somebody was cosplaying Jericho in each one of his eras. I remember that.
So yeah, it's I think you just need that little break from Jericho to love him again, because he's just there. And he's got a couple years left in him.
Yeah.
So make us love you again, I think.
Let him go do his rock star shtick and
Do you know what I think would be really cool for Jericho?
what's that?
If he had a little show on Dynamite or Collision, randomly on both. It's just sometimes it's Jericho's whatever you want to call it. He just has a little stick where he interviews somebody. I think he would put them over like crazy if he did this as a face.
Yeah. As long as he didn't make it all about him.
Well, that's what he wanted the highlight reel to be originally in WWE. He wanted it to put up and coming wrestlers over.
Yeah.
And then guys like, that's stupid.
That's one thing about Jericho is that when he wants to, he really can put somebody over. Yeah. I mean, he's done it.
If the company follows through with it, like I think the Action Andretti thing was kind of dumb.
Yeah. I agree, because it didn't go anywhere.
Well, they realized that he wasn't worthy of it.
Right. I mean, Action Andretti got the big win. They tried to like draw parallels between that and Sean Waltman, the 1-2-3 kid going over Razor Ramon, and it just went nowhere.
Yeah, so it's like the
Well, that's
same with
because-
Fandango. You wasted a big WrestleMania win on Fandango,
Yeah.
and then he kind of faded away. It's like if you're gonna do this, you got to kind of follow through. It's tough.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand it. It's just they blew the moment. But Action Andretti shouldn't have been the guy. They should have plucked somebody else out and put him over. In my humble opinion.
My humble opinion. This is Matthew, the Natalia Markova super fan from the other day.
Does Canada know who I am now? That the whole country of Canada knows who you are,
Yes.
sir.
I represent the country of Canada.
But no, your name is still showing as Facebook user. Your name, not your real name.
Yeah.
If you click on the StreamYard link at the top, you'll be able to give them permission so you can see your name here.
All right, moving on here. I don't know if I still have the link to the article you sent me for this one or not, Canada Dry, but you sent me something about a story of Randy Orton taking revenge on a ex WWE diva because according to what was it? Renee Dupree said that Randy Orton apparently lost out on going out with this girl and she went out with Mark Jindrak instead. So yeah, give us a little insight as to what that's.
All right. So I wish we had the link because we had the name of the diva back then, but
yeah, I'll have to scroll back here and see.
So apparently, Randy Orton was never a ladies' man that was confident and was able to be smooth. And I guess he wasn't a ladies' guy. Didn't know how to give them the right. I don't know the charm or whatever.
If I could interject real quick, it was WWE diva Rochelle Lowen who had a brief stint in 2003 to 2005. I have never heard of that person.
I don't know who that is, but
Rochelle Lowen
must have been during the diva search era.
You know what? That might be what it was.
Do you want me to read this brief article here?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Former WWE diva Rochelle Lowen, who had a brief stint from 2003 to 2005 in the company, claimed that Orton destroyed her belongings after she rejected his advances. According to WWE veteran Renee Dupree, Orton attempted to hit on Lowen, which led to rejection and the subsequent vandalism of her possessions with tanning lotion. Renee refuted the rumored claim that Randy defecated in her bag. He did that to another diva, but also mentioned that Lowen later went on a date with Mark Jindrak after turning down Orton. And it goes into a long quote here. It's not really.
Well, it says that pretty much Jindrak was good with the ladies, Orton not so much.
Yeah. The defecation story, that was that was one of those diva search girls.
Maybe that's what they said, but maybe they're refuting that it was actually defecation and rather than just squirting the tan load, which I said.
Well, this is
maybe
a different.
It could be the same story.
Like the diva search girl was like someone who had she never actually wrestled. She just made a few appearances.
Was it Christy Hemme?
What?
Wasn't it Christy Hemme?
No, it was some dark-haired chick. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But
or something like that.
I remember reading about the time that Randy Orton took a shit in her bag. So I think they're conflating the two stories.
Like, these stories from a young Orton don't surprise me because they're not new. I've heard similar stories before, especially coming from the WWE locker room and how they treated everybody.
Yeah,
these are not shocking revelations.
Randy Orton, young Randy Orton, was a dick.
Yeah, he was. He was. I imagine he was probably one of those guys who thought he was better than everyone because he's a third-generation wrestler. They strapped a rocket to him, so yeah, he probably came off as one of those better than you type people. So how dare you reject me type.
He was one of the All Lives Matter crew for the longest time. We talk about what does pigment of their skin mean? All lives matter. And, that's just doesn't float in our society today. Whenever saying Black Lives Matter, you don't respond by, yeah, of course, all lives matter. So
Right.
I think he's past that now, though.
Yeah, I think he just had to grow up. I mean, he just went through.
He washed out of Marine Corps boot camp too. So
Yeah.
See, this is something because how to pass Marine Corps boot camp.
It's hard to fail because Marines don't let you fail unless you royally fuck up.
Yeah.
They usually just get recycled and you'll start boot camp over with a new platoon. Like they don't
how would he have had to get kicked out of that?
Was it disciplinary issues or something?
Probably.
I remember reading something about it.
He may have attacked a drill instructor. It had to be something like legit serious to get booted the fuck out of boot camp.
Yeah.
Like coming home drunk at all, that wouldn't be anything.
Not in boot camp because you stay in the barracks and there's no.
Oh, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, you don't go anywhere.
No, the Marine Corps is not like the Army where you get to go home for boot camp sometimes or school.
I can imagine Randy Orton being, fuck this, I'm not listening to you, and just like have an attitude. And
I guess he made it through boot camp. He just was a dickhead Marine who didn't know how to stand post.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and you heard a lot of weird stories about Randy Orton like this. Do you remember the story that Court Bauer told about him?
Can we read Brett Leston's Cush's comment quickly?
Cush says Randy Orton was like Shawn Michaels of his generation, very talented, but such a toxic asshole in his younger years. Yeah. Yeah, I think
that's like every wrestler in their younger years are toxic as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a good.
I wouldn't say like everyone.
Yes, go ahead. Throw out Bret Hart. We know you want
I think you get a young Bret and a young Ricky Steamboat. They're having a nice milkshake together at the soda shop.
That you know of.
Ricky Steamboat wasn't doing any shenanigans. I mean, come on. He's the all-American babyface, for God's sake.
Ricky Steamboat?
Yeah.
To me, that is so cool that he wrestled his whole career as a face.
His entire career.
I don't know anyone else who's a face.
The only other one I can think of is Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But were they? I guess in WCW and the mask off. I guess they were still baby faces.
He was
he attacked Ric Flair and stole his watch.
Yeah, that was kind of like when he was a tweener.
When it was with the filthy animals.
Yeah, the filthy animals.
Yeah. Or was that Billy Kidman that stole the watch? I think it might have been Billy Kidman.
I'm not sure.
I'd have to go back and watch it again.
That was the hard times of WCW to watch.
I don't remember my Master P era Rey Mysterio.
Matthew says, I'm back, Ooga Booga, Captain Caveman.
So easy a caveman can do it. Cush, you're very welcome, my man. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But yeah, do you remember the Court Bauer story for Randy Orton? Do you remember that?
I don't. Please fill us in.
This is when Court Bauer, owner of MLW, when he was a writer for WWE, he said that Randy Orton came in and introduced himself to like the writing team and stuck his hand down his pants, rubbed it on himself, and then pulled his hand out and demanded that everybody shake his hand.
What?
I've heard that story before.
And when Court Bauer didn't want to do it, he's like, "Oh, you're too good? You too good to shake my hand? Well, who the hell are you? You're too good to shake my hand." And it was just kind of just being a real dick and like, really, really kind of taking it to these writers because he knew they wouldn't or couldn't do anything in retaliation.
All right, so we have Joe Horvat saying he didn't wash out. He went AWOL 3 times and was kicked out with bad conduct discharge, and that's why he was taken off the Marine movie as well.
I'm going to have to say something. He wasn't AWOL. He was UA. Marines don't do AWOL.
Okay, UA means?
Unauthorized absence.
Oh, okay.
AWOL is absent without leave. It's the same thing. The Marine Corps just calls it UA.
Okay, thank you. Look, we got all sorts of people to fill out voids for us of knowledge.
Now, Joe,
he's a Marine expert.
Is there any point at which they just take you out back and shoot you?
No, they'll just take you out back and beat the shit out of you.
Now, And they'll say, "Oh, there was an accident."
Basically,
He
yeah.
fell.
He's got to be more careful out there in the woods.
And something you sent me, Canada Dry, was about Curtis Axel really wanting to use his real name in WWE. Now, this is something that really bugs the shit out of me. WWE will never allow any of their legacy talents to
Except for the
use their
Hearts.
name.
Pretty much except for the Hearts.
Yeah.
Or
Except for
Flair.
the Hearts. Or
Flair's the
Flair or
Hearts.
somebody like that. But they like, guys, why is Braun a fucking breaker? Like, why is he not a Steiner?
Break stuff.
He
I
should
mean-
just be a Steiner.
He should be a Steiner. He looks just like a damn Steiner. He sounds just like a Steiner.
He looks like his dad and he talks like his uncle.
He does. He's
Even
like
if they
the first
change it to
Mister.
Steiners, Braun Steiners, you still own the name.
Just call him Steiner. Like, you own WCW, you own WWE. Like, there's no issue with naming rights.
It's just about owning that name. It's all it's about.
Yeah, and it's so ridiculous, man. It's like I feel like they take these guys, these legacy talents, these second and third generation guys and girls, and they just set them back. Like, if they have a legacy to build on that's marketable, why not use it?
His original name, Michael McGillicuddy.
Oh my god.
What kind of name is this to give a guy
a
who's
fucking
the son of
awful
Mr.
name.
Perfect? The son of freaking Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
And,
Michael
and the
McGillicuddy.
grandfather and the grandson of Larry the Axe.
Yeah. Third
Yeah.
generation.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. It drives me crazy. Like, I mean, honestly, like,
So he also had Paul Heyman backing him up
yeah,
to get called Joe Henning.
Yeah.
And no.
there's just no reason. Like Curtis Axel.
It probably would have got him over more if they would have just did that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they gave him the music that kind of sounded like his dad's music. But then they gave him the stupid name Curtis Axel, and then they try to explain what it is, and it's just it's stupid. And it's just hell, even call him Perfect. I mean, call him like Curtis Perfect or something. I mean, that would be better than
Curtis Perfect
Axel.
is perfect.
That would have been great. Like, I
Oh,
would have liked that.
Yes.
GM Joe, what do you think about that? Would you like to have seen him be called Curtis Perfect?
Anything's better than what it was. I mean, hell, years before they let The Rock be called Rocky Maivia, which is literally his dad's first name and his grandfather's last name. I mean,
That's such a Vince thing to do. Eh? Let's by God mix the names up.
Oh God. And now they're doing the same thing with the poor Pillman kid. You know, like, he can't just be Pillman.
well,
you know,
he
he's got-
wanted to do that. There's a
Well,
story behind it.
Well, that's what he's saying.
That's what they say, but
Like they got him by the balls, so he's got to
Yeah.
say the right thing.
so here's the thing about that, and that I'm glad that we brought him up, Lexus King. So him and his siblings apparently just signed a deal for the likeness of their father to be under a Legends deal for WWE.
About time.
So my question is a lot of times they do this right before they put somebody in the Hall of Fame. So I'm going to ask you a 2-part question for each of you. One, do you think Pillman's going to go with the WWE Hall of Fame? And two, do you think Lexus King is going to be involved in the induction, or is he going to maintain kayfabe and renounce the Pillman name? I'll start with Canada Dry.
I think he will gladly accept the induction on behalf of his father.
Do you think that Pillman will be inducted?
I think so. I think he's got that big name still. You need to get these things out. Like his run there with the Hart Foundation at the end, it was so epic.
Yeah.
Like he belonged with that group.
And I was always a huge fan of the Flying Brian era in WCW, and I say this all the time. The two best matches in WCW history, in my opinion, Number 1 was Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, Halloween Havoc 97. Number 2, very close number 2, was Flying Brian Pillman versus Jushin Thunder Liger at Super Brawl, I think in 92.
You know what was also a really good match, and it's kind of tainted now?
What's that?
Was Bret Hart versus Chris Benoit.
The Owen Hart Memorial match?
The Owen Hart Memorial match.
Yeah, that was a great match.
Like, just destroyed because of Benoit, right?
I know. And that's unfortunate because, I mean, as far as like pure in-ring work goes, like Benoit was like my favorite guy from that era. So it like sucks to, not really be able to go back and watch that without having the stink of what happened in my head. But getting back to Pillman.
Back to Henning for a second.
Yeah.
Because he said, from now on, I'm Joe Henning, wherever he's going to wrestle. So I think that's cool.
Has he even wrestled since he left OWE?
I think he's doing some indie stuff.
Yeah.
So
I've not seen him pop up anywhere.
So
but good luck to him.
Yeah. I think he was pretty good. I don't think he was like they couldn't I think the office couldn't get behind him.
Yeah.
I think he had certain people pushing him, but ultimately I don't think they saw what some people saw in him.
Yeah. Yeah, he was all right. I mean, he was a good hand. I don't think he was the greatest in the world. I don't think he was the worst in the world either. I think he was worthy of having. And, he could have been one of those guys that could have helped work with some NXT talent, maybe show them a few things. So, yeah, it's kind of a shame. I hated that the guy just disappeared and we just never saw him again. I'm going to look through some of these comments here and see if we got anything that might be interesting. Shane points out that after the stuff that Rick did at the convention with Giselle Shaw, WWE definitely wouldn't want him using the Steiner last name. I get that, but at the same time, he did come out and disavow his father after that too.
Well, to be fair, he's been known as Braun Breaker. It was well before that whole incident with Giselle Shaw.
Yeah. Yeah, and he came out pretty much right away and said that Dad doesn't speak for me.
Pillman was the best at blurring the lines of wrestling in real life and promos. No one knew where he was. That's true.
Yeah, there's the Pillman, the he's got a gun promo. There's the Booker Man promo on WCW when he was talking to Kevin Sullivan. He's known for quite a few good promos.
There was the moment in ECW where he what was he? He threatened to pull his dick out in the ring or something. Yeah, I mean, he was a wild man. Do you guys ever remember the clip of, and this is when he was in WCW right before he left, and he ran out of the ring and grabbed Bobby the Brain Heenan.
I remember that.
And Heenan didn't expect it. Ganna Dry, do you remember this?
Oh, yes, I totally remember that.
Heenan went off on him.
Bobby was pissed.
Pillman got out of the ring and grabbed Heenan, and Heenan stood up and goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" Shivani was like, "Calm down, calm down." That was so awesome. Yeah, Pillman had some wild moments. He did. It just
the dark side of the ring for Pillman is probably one of the saddest ones. That had two parts. Just because you saw just kind of everything kind of falling apart on him.
Yeah. It's just sad. I mean, what could have been with him?
Yeah.
I see Kush says I wouldn't mind Stone Cold inducting him with Lexus King for Brian Pillman. See, that's kind of what I was thinking too. I think that if somebody does induct Pillman into the Hall of Fame, I think it's probably got to be Stone Cold. Because those two were super close. They remained really close friends. And that silver chain that you see around Austin's neck all through the Attitude Era was given to him by Brian Pillman. And
I would like to see Stone Cold induct him with Lexus King accepting it.
Yeah. That would be amazing. I hope we see that.
I don't think it's this year, though. It might be a couple years down the road. I don't think it'll be this year. Because the rumor is they're going to be paring down how many people go into the Hall of Fame every year. So.
Yeah.
Do you think that possibly we could see wrestlers that were linked to some bad feelings towards Vince McMahon now get in the Hall of Fame where before they were ignored because of this barrier?
Yeah,
I
I think
think so.
Demolition has a chance to get in now.
I think Adrian Adonis as well. You got Demolition, you got Adrian Adonis. Who else?
I mean, there's lots that we we could probably dig up some names and go through quite a few. But yeah, I do think that's going to happen. I think some of the people that had an issue with Vince and were on the outs with WWE are going to kind of be welcomed back in now. I mean, Triple H has been doing this for years, anyways. He's been extending the olive branch. Look what he did with Warrior, and look what he did with Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of those guys basically hated Vince. Triple H was the olive branch and brought them back together. So I'm sure now that Vince is gone, that's going to be amplified even more, and we're going to see more of these guys come back, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Is Wendy Richter in? Has she ever gone in?
Not that I know of.
Because I know she's one of Vince's outcasts too.
Okay, because like
You know who should go in that isn't, and I'm very surprised is Cyndi Lauper. She was a big part of the beginning of WrestleMania. You think she would be in?
I think she didn't want in.
Yeah, I think that was the story too. I think the story was that she had been approached about it and she declined it for some reason. Yeah.
I think there was a women's sort of like rights sort of thing. It could have been she was aware of some of this stuff that Vince was up to and didn't want.
Or maybe she found the objectification of women during the Attitude Era to be offensive. Yeah. But yeah, I remember hearing that a few years ago that she had been approached about it and that had apparently reportedly declined the offer to be in. So, but yeah, I mean,
I don't imagine her stance would change much.
No, not now.
Look, Vince is gone. Come on down.
I mean, they might have been able to sweet talk her maybe a few years ago, but not now. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, like, yeah, that this is like you don't think of like, okay, Vince is gone. You just think this is still his thing, even though he's gone.
But when you think about celebrity impact on the cultural integration of wrestling into particularly American pop culture, I mean, you got to put Cyndi Lauper up there as possibly the most important. I mean, she did a whole lot to put WWE on the map back in the 80s. And
I'd like to see AEW do a Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You put Owen in there straight off as your first person.
Owen would be number one, I'm sure. Yeah.
And then you start reaching out to people like Wendy Richter, like Cyndi Lauper, and you build that.
As long I just want someone to make like a physical Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it would be
Here's
cool
what I do. If I was AEW when I did this, I'm making a physical Hall of Fame building. And then I'm creating some kind of career achievement and I'm naming it after Owen Hart. I think that would be the best way to honor his memory.
Yeah. And it would probably be in Jacksonville.
And honestly, if I was the first person to get like the Owen Hart Legacy Award would be Sting, in my opinion. He's done
Sting
so
would
much.
probably be the second person inducted.
Right. Yeah, you could induct him as while getting this award or however they wanted to do it. Yeah. I want like a physical place where we can go and look at things and just like really experience it.
What would be cool if it wasn't just an AEW Hall of Fame, but a Wrestling Hall of Fame that they included that unrelated to AEW.
Yeah, it's got to be backed by a major company though, or else it's not going to get off the ground. I mean, we can't do like the Observer Hall of Fame or something like that. Like it's got to be
owned by AEW.
Yeah, it'd have to be backed by Tony Khan.
Yeah, it's backed by Tony. He's got Tony's money, his dad's money.
I mean, he's got plenty of his own money. It's okay.
He's got enough. He can sustain losses for years to come.
You can even buy the Cauliflower Club and keep it there. All their inductions are now yours. And put it in a legit Hall of Fame. Is he frozen?
Yeah, I think so.
I was like, why is he not responding?
I know. I was waiting for him to respond, and he's frozen.
He looks so cold. I think this is a good time to bring this up. So we were talking earlier today, and where the hell is it? We were asking the question of this: what are these called?
So I call them Freezy Pops, but I've lived around the states where just called just called popsicles, things like that. But I've always called them Freezy Pops.
So here in Canada, there's actually a brand called Freezies, and that's what we always went by. Jeremy just texted me. My internet just died.
Ooh.
Hold on, let me just let's have a live conversation with him. I'm asking him, are you coming back?
Yeah. Or should we wrap up without you?
Well, let's see what he says. But yeah, they're called Freezies. He was saying where he is now. You had an interesting response to this. They were called. What did I say they were called?
You said they were called. Hold on.
Oh, look at this! In Australia, they're called ice blocks. I've never heard that one.
I've never heard that one either. But you said Jeremy calls them Fun Pops.
Okay, these are not Fun Pops.
And my response was, fucking Southerners. I've never heard them called freeze
your
suckers.
country. This is some of they're called freeze suckers. I've never heard of that one before.
Where are you from, Matt? What part? Where do you live?
He's from Ohio.
Oh, that explains so much.
Fun Pops is something different.
I've never even heard the term Fun Pops before. I've heard of Push Pops.
Freezy Pops is a little bit much, but we're pretty much almost the same there with Freeze Pops. It's interesting to know that they're called something different all over the world. No one is united on this front.
Well, it's like soda here in the States. Like I call it just soda. Some people call it pop. Some people call every soda just Coke.
Yeah,
gentlemen.
Okay, so we were talking about this, and we got to get your intake. What are these called?
Fun Pops.
Fucking Southerners, man. I swear. Fun Pops. What is that, Mr. Isaacs?
Hell if I know. I used to eat them sometimes when I was a kid. I'm not a big ice cream guy, but I did used to have those when I was a kid.
So since we're on this topic, which one?
They're called Ice Pops as well.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite? What flavor? And why is it red? Because red is it's just red.
No,
there is
no.
Yeah, my favorite flavor of any kind of slushy kind of product was always purple because I like grape.
Okay, so the answer is white or blue.
White. What is white?
What the hell is
no
white?
Flavor, just frozen water.
That's just ice.
No, it's vanilla cream soda flavor.
Oh, I don't like cream soda, so
yeah, white or blue are my go-tos, and then it's grape, and then actually cherry is last.
You were crazy.
Orange is before cherry.
You're out of your mind. It's all
I don't like
that cold Canadian air up there killing your brain cells.
I don't like how the cherry's kind of sour. I like this pure sweetness.
That must be a Canada thing because cherry aren't sour here in the States.
Yeah, they're a little bit sour here in Canada for our freezies.
I like what Joe says in the chat. A Fun Pop is something you get for $20 at a Flying J truck stop.
I tell you what, I
get a foam pop.
I used to work for a warehouse. I was shipping and receiving, And when I worked receiving, I heard some stories from some truck drivers. Let me tell you what. And it's not even safe to say here on YouTube. So
Pina colada freezies? I don't think so. They don't have pina colada freezies.
If any more
Now, when I was a kid,
Oh,
we had this corner store, and they had a Slurpee there, and I guess the kids got in trouble, like because the kids lived with their parents, I guess, in the upstairs, and they weren't allowed to help themselves to the Slurpees, but they were allowed freezies, and they would refill their freezies in the Slurpee machine. So their parents wouldn't know.
You mean the slushy machine?
Yes.
Slurpee is proprietary to 7-Eleven.
Well, I'll have you know this, that in Canada, everything is a Slurpee. It's like Coke. In the South.
Yeah, in the South, every pop is a Coke. Every
Here in Canada, every slushy is a Slurpee. So that's how we work here.
Do you frequent truck stops for Slurpees?
Well, do you know how many teaspoons of sugar are in a small Slurpee?
Not enough.
Not
I'll
enough.
get the smallest one. It's 10 teaspoons of sugar for the smallest Slurpee.
Right.
Like when I go to get like an icy or a Slurpee, it's always half Coke, half cherry. And make a cherry Coke Slurpee.
Yeah, it's a lot of calories, and I can't be affording to be wasting it on Slurpees.
I don't do it often, so
we're an hour and 11 minutes into this. Do we want to wrap this up, or do we want to?
Oh no, I know there's at least one more story I want to talk about.
I want to talk about Mick Foley thing.
Yeah,
what do you want to talk
Foley
about?
thing? We can get to that.
I'll tell you what. I'll pick one. You pick one, and then we'll wrap her up.
Well, I only have 2 left on the list.
There we go. There we go.
All right. Well, we can do the Foley one first. You had sent me something about Eric Bischoff stating that he regretted hiring Mick Foley because he was too dangerous. And let me see if I can find the quote, because you sent me that, I think, too. Here we go. This is what Bischoff said. He said, quote, "I let Mick go because Mick was dangerous. Mick was intent on wrestling this extreme high-risk wrestling style, jumping off balconies and things like that. That was the last straw, and I let Mick go because Mick was a liability, not only onto himself, but in circumstances in WCW. He was dangerous to the fans, not intentionally, obviously, but when you're jumping off balconies onto the floor in front of the crowd, things can go wrong," Bischoff said. Mick made his own decision to leave WCW. He was given a choice, and he chose to continue wrestling the way he wrestled, Bischoff added.
Joe Horvath says, "I have 7 kids. I don't wrap up anything." Oh, my goodness.
So can I go first on this?
Go ahead, yeah.
Go ahead, EVP.
So, when it comes to Eric Bischoff and why he employs or doesn't employ people, I will never go to him for any advice ever, because he had Triple H on his thing. He said, "I can't market Stone Cold because all you do is wear black trunks and black boots." He couldn't evaluate talent to save his life.
Yeah.
He literally gave WWE the tools to beat him.
And it is funny that he got rid of Steve Austin, because to me, probably the number 3 match in WCW history was Steve Austin versus Ricky Steamboat for the WCW Television Championship, which is an excellent match.
Like, and on top of that, he fired Steve Austin by FedEx. Like, be the boss that you're supposed to be, and at least call him or talk to him face to face.
Yeah, that's scummy. Yeah, I agree. My thoughts on this, I'll circle back to Canada Dry, but I'll give my thoughts on this. This sounds like typical WCW. You know, WCW was a television product that put on wrestling as a conglomerate of Turner. And they weren't a wrestling company, number one. They were a television company, number one. So they had standards and practices, and they had HR, and they had all this corporate bullshit that was like, we can't have somebody jumping around the fans. What if one of them gets hurt? They're going to sue us. You know, it was an over corporatized product. So I could see this being a reason why early WCW would have let somebody go, whereas ECW or WWF would let him thrive. And he was right not to change his style, because his style is what made him who he was. And he's a millionaire now because of it. Canada Dry, what do you think of this?
Well, it's interesting because I don't think that's the kind of wrestler he was in WWE right off the bat.
Right.
He was very doing whatever the boss told him to do. And it wasn't until he was trusted with those spots that he was able to do that.
Yeah.
So I wonder how legit or truth bent this is in hindsight by Eric Bischoff.
Probably a lot, because that's what he does. He is.
I also wonder.
He is Hulk Hogan's best friend as for now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I also wonder, did WCW make any homegrown stars?
Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg's got to be the only one. Yeah.
I don't know. I would say DDP. DDP really didn't do much until he came to WCW.
Okay, so you got Sting, I guess, yeah.
Well, Sting is an NWA guy that came.
Yeah, but they bought NWA, and
but he was already headlining events with Flair under the NWA banner. So I mean, they could quasi take credit for Sting, I guess, but you know, it's kind of half and half. It's kind of part Crockett, part.
I mean,
would you include Jericho as a star they made?
No. He really wasn't a star till he went to WWE.
And he was in ECW prior to that.
No, but what the thing is, Jericho was put in a position by WCW where WWE would want him.
Well, to me, a homegrown star is like somebody who literally started there. And he had already been working Japan, Smoky Mountain, and ECW before he came to WCW.
I guess he just climbed from ECW to the next
guys,
level.
We're forgetting the biggest homegrown star of them all. Glacier.
Yeah, so there's a couple. Guerrero, was he
again, he was big in other territories and other places before.
Like Eddie Guerrero was in AAA before he came to WCW. He was tag partners with Art Barr.
Yeah, like most of the cruiserweights, they stole from ECW. They didn't.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio,
Malenko, Psychosis, Benoit.
So aside from the couple there, Sting.
Well, I mean, to be fair, WCW was only around like for a blink of for like a cup of coffee in the grand scheme. Like they weren't around long enough to really grow their own talent. I would go out to say that AEW in their 4 years has done more with homegrown talent than WCW did in its entire existence.
Yeah, their big thing was stealing WWE guys.
Yeah, and taking guys from Mexico and Japan.
Booker T and Harlem Heat. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think Booker.
That's a good one.
Absolutely qualifies.
Yeah.
No, Vader was big in Japan before.
Yeah, Vader was an all Japan guy before he went to WCW. Oh. Yeah, and he was huge.
A few guys
yeah.
And then I guess you could take credit for. They could take credit for Flair as well, kind of.
No,
not quite. Yeah, he was wrestling way too long in the NWA before.
80s NWA was bigger than 90s WCW Flair for sure.
Yeah.
I know we mentioned Eddie Guerrero earlier. I mean, he was Black Tiger Mask in New Japan. Yeah. Before he went to WCW. He's part of that 1994 Super J Cup, which a lot of people consider to be technically the best pro wrestling event ever. He's a big
Kevin Sullivan.
I don't know if I'd call him a big star, but yeah. So Kevin Sullivan was.
Is it Alex Wright or when he was repackaged as
Berlin?
Berlin, yeah.
or with Disco Inferno, the Dancing Fools.
I hate Disco Inferno, and ever since he's got out and started his podcast, the hate's only gone up for that man.
Oh, he's smug. He's smug as hell for sure.
Dude, well, for someone who was
here's the thing about that. Is this just his persona on the podcast?
No.
To get over?
He
I would hope so, because if not, he's got to be a horrible human being to be around all the time.
So Canada Dry, I'll share this about Disco Inferno, and this is probably going to make you hate him. About 20 years ago, when I was perusing wrestling forums, there was a website that decided to bring in some former WCW guys to just answer questions on the forums, right? They had Conan, they had Raven, and they had Disco Inferno. And Disco Inferno was so smug and was always talking down about like a lot of the big stars. And he said that Bret Hart sucked as a wrestler. And he said that Bret Hart was so overrated and that he had no charisma and that he was so far beneath Ric Flair. I remember him saying this. And so yeah. That's
was that for you, the instant hatred, or was it already there?
I was like, bro, come on. You're full of shit. I mean, you're Disco Inferno, for God's sake. Like, you're not God's gift to wrestling. But see, he hung out with Nash and Hall, and he thought that he was in with those guys. And those guys all kind of hated Brett. So, like, yeah, he thinks he's one of the big dogs, but he's not.
Well, I know Razor, Ramon, and Brett they got along.
Yeah, Scott Hall did make a couple comments about Brett taking himself too seriously, being a mark for himself. You remember that? He made that comment. I guess that was the thing, is that the really only one that never really did that was 1-2-3 Kid, Sean Waltman. Yeah.
True. Sean was always thankful for how good that match he had with Brett was.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That was his marquee match.
And Darby and CM Punk recreated most of the spots in that match in their match as a tribute.
Now, which match is better?
I'd have to go back and watch it again, but probably 1-2-3 Kid Brett, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. They're both in their prime.
Yeah.
And you got CM Punk at the end of his run here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we got one more story here, and it's involved everyone's favorite bro, and I'm not talking about Vince Russo. All right. Matt Riddle gets called goofy by Vince. Matt Riddle recalls former.
Can I interrupt you really quickly?
Yeah.
Now, I've told people this before. In Canada, at least here, the word goof is fighting words.
Yeah, I remember you telling us that.
Yeah, so just adding the E on it makes it almost suitable. But like, you don't have that Y on there. It's like, it's like instant mad.
Now let me ask you this. Were you guys offended by the Disney character Goofy?
No, not at all. Now, if he was just Goof, I'd be like, oh, poor guy.
Well, wasn't there a movie he was in called The Goof Troop or something like that?
That was a TV show, weekly TV show. Animated Goof Troop.
All right, well, here's what Matt Riddle said. He said, in regards to Vince McMahon not liking him, he thought I was goofy. If anything, the first time we met, he didn't like me because I was goofy. He was like, "You're goofy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm goofy, but it's a good thing." He's like, "Being a goof isn't a good thing."
No, but
and I'm like, "Well, I'm a goof that could kick your ass." You could tell that didn't make him happy. And then Bruce Pritchard hopped in and was like, "Hey, Vince, he's pretty good at wrestling. Trust me." Now, I'm going to tell you, this story sounds a little goofy.
I don't buy that.
I think he didn't say it.
There's no way he's saying, Vince McMahon, I can kick your ass. No, I don't buy that one.
I think this is just him changing the. I think the first
personally,
part of the story was right.
I think Matt Riddle substituted the word goofy for high. I think he was high when he meant Vince.
I might be high, but I could kick your ass.
That sounds more right than.
Why do you sound like King of the Hill?
Hank Hill.
Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby.
You're gonna come over here. I'm gonna kick your ass. It's the Southern man in me, is what it is. I'm middle-aged dad in Kentucky. It's just we all sound like Hank Hill once in a while.
we got a Hank Hill convention going on here.
You got the Hank Hill convention.
We got Boomhauer. You know what I'm saying?
On the internet.
You know, virus down there in the cooch.
Joe is like totally not amused by this.
Look, I'm just tired, guys. I took a muscle relaxer because my leg was killing me, so it's finally hitting me.
Yeah, so I think this story is him changing the ending.
Yeah.
Because that's a better ending to a story, let's be honest. It's probably just like Vince McMahon rolling his eyes at the end and walking away.
Vince probably doesn't even remember, to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds like bullshit to me. Like that can't be legitimate. I mean, I was reading this quote and I didn't read it before I read it live, but as I was reading it, I'm like, there's no fucking way this happened. there's no way in hell this legitimately happened.
There's no way that he said I could beat your ass and Vince didn't take a swing at him.
Oh, son of a bitch, let's go. Because didn't he challenge Kurt Angle to a wrestling match or something? And like Kurt took him down.
He does have a lot of bravado. He threatened to beat up Jericho. So I don't know. Maybe it's possible he said this.
Well, he was going to wrestle Kurt Angle, if I'm not mistaken. Am I wrong about that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was some kind of story about him.
He was talking about Goldberg too, right?
I don't know.
Or was it Brock that he was like?
I think he wanted to legit fight Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he wanted to fight Brock. Yeah,
Brock Lesnar would maul you to death, dude.
Yeah,
like
the weight. You're out of your weight class. First, of all.
There's a reason why UFC has weight classes like that.
Yeah, and dude, like he's, you know, Matt Riddle was an okay fighter. He was a middle of the pack guy, but you know, he doesn't have the jiu-jitsu acumen to just completely like snap Brock Lesnar. No,
I don't think he has the power.
Tiffany says this. Hold on. Isaacs looks like a human manifestation of a King of the Hill character.
Now, which character, Tiffany? I'm curious to know which character you think I look like.
I personally would say Hank Hill.
I could definitely be Hank. Yeah, I could be Hank if I wear the like the short sleeve button up shirt tucked into my jeans and like go around and try to sell propane. I could do that.
You know who I am? I'm Rusty Shackelford.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Hank Hill would hate the world we're living in right now.
Oh yeah. Hank Hill, like half the episodes of King of the Hill was about Hank Hill like being uncomfortable about some kind of progress in society.
I'm just simply talking about all the go green stuff, trying to get away from propane.
Yeah, that was a theme of the show too. I mean that was like something on the show.
I think they brought back on Hulu.
It's but it's not gonna be as good because the guy that played Dale died.
Yeah. The other thing is, I feel like Hank would be a Trump supporter.
Well, he definitely would because he was a Republican on the show. Remember, he was a big supporter of like Ronald Reagan and who was the
and also guys,
George Bush. He liked George W. Bush. Yeah, that was like
so
part
I think
of
that would actually be a funny theme. Like, gosh darn it, the Trump, like just be like the Trump's not like why like just being upset of a Trump, like you're our only hope, and then just like I think that could be funny actually.
Well, he had a couple episodes where I remember him praising Ronald Reagan, and then he said something about like Republicans are the ones that have the firm handshake or something like that. I don't remember exactly what he said.
I think he shook the president's hand and it was limp, and he's like, "This is ruining my life." And
it was something like that.
I hate that. Sorry, we'll go on this. I hate when people do that. If I go to shake your hand and you're just like this, there's nothing more that makes me angry than that. Like,
you don't hate. No, I hate is the opposite. Where they squeeze the life out of you. I'm like, whoa.
I'd rather have that than someone who just doesn't look like they want to shake.
Oh, the limp handshake. Do you know what I once did?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know at church when they're like, "Go shake someone's hand"?
Yeah.
So I shook someone's hand, and I did it for like I tried to do it for 20 seconds. I just kept them. And then
that's
I tried
too long. That's a little bit awkward right there.
It was, and afterwards I'm like, I don't think they liked me after that.
So have either of you ever like gone to like a Catholic church event of any kind?
Yes.
So
never.
I've gone to one Catholic. I went to one Catholic service in boot camp, and then for a friend, I went to an Easter service at a Greek Orthodox church.
So here's what I was getting at. I don't know anything at all about like Catholic customs in the church. I mean, I know about Catholicism and the history of the Holy Roman Empire and all that kind of stuff because I'm a history guy, but I don't know about their customs. So I went to a wedding, because my ex's family is Catholic, and her cousin got married in a Catholic church, and at the end of it, everybody stands up and they just look around and they look at every single person around them and say like peace be with you and like reach out and shake your hand. And I'm like, what is this? And I think I told her uncle thank you when he shook my hand because I was like, and I told her after this, I was like, why didn't you tell me that they were going to do this? Like, you grew up going to this kind of shit. And she was like, well, I didn't know. I didn't think about it.
Usually when someone says peace be with you, you say, and also with you.
Yeah. But
here's Jeremy Isaacs. Thanks.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks for the peace, man. Or you should do it like this.
So I went to one Catholic service in boot camp, and I swear, first off, like the priest was like 90 years old, so I had a hard time understanding him. But it just feels like it's constant, like stand up, sit down, kneel, stand up, sit down, kneel. Like it just you never stop moving. I'm like, oh gosh.
And the wedding was even like that. Like it was just I didn't know what was. I feel like I needed
to be Roman Catholic.
I felt like I needed a run through. Like somebody should have like gave me a run through of like what all we were gonna do and like what I was supposed to say and everything.
My dad's side of the family is Catholic. It felt like it was an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race with all the costumes and shit.
Are you sure that was a church?
Sure.
Are you sure that was? Are you sure that wasn't a real church, or was that like a church in Vegas?
Are you sure that wasn't the set of Madonna's prayer video?
Or that, yes.
All right. I think that wraps it up. That was the last story that I had. Unless
I wouldn't mind though. I wouldn't mind that holy water sprinkled on you.
Yeah, they did something too, where like they put some kind of like.
You know what I would do though?
Some kind of smelly stuff in the air. It smelled good. It was like lavender or something. Yeah.
I would try and catch it in my mouth.
That's all we need now. Canada Dry to catch the holy water, and he starts steaming from his mouth.
Oh, come on. I'm the patron saint of professional wrestling. You know what's going to take.
You're a Protestant, damn it. You're going to burn.
What kind of hell is this? You know very well that I'm a former preacher.
I know.
I do.
You got to forget that sometimes.
I like giving you a hard time.
Yeah. Now, the point that I'm making, though, is you're a Protestant, right? You're not Catholic.
Oh, yes. I'm the whore of Babylon.
So, see, they would think you would burn because you're Protestant.
Right. During the Middle Ages, like, they both call each other the whore of Babylon.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason, like, entire wars, like Northern Ireland and Ireland have like killed each other over Catholicism versus Protestantism. So,
and they're still not okay with it. Like,
no, of course not.
Anger at the orange versus the green. I don't know
though. The Catholics themselves though now are starting to eat away at each other. So
are the green the Catholics or the orange the Protestant? Which is which? Do you know?
I don't know.
No clue.
I don't know.
One, I got a feeling that the green is Catholic. I don't think the Protestants would willingly choose orange. I think it was just all they got.
Yeah. That's what they got. When the colors are being handed out, that's what they got.
Like, I guess we'll take orange. Taz likes it.
All right, gentlemen. Do either one of you have anything else you want to bring to the table, or are we ready to close up shop here?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about Natalia Markova on the show the other day.
Yeah. Big moment for effing wrestling.
We've had her on twice before, but I felt like this was it was different, where it was more like a friendship to get two people talking rather than just asking random questions.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed to flow really well because obviously you two know each other pretty well through having a legitimate friendship outside of doing the shows. And yeah, I'm proud of you for doing that, man. I got to go back and watch the full thing. I watched most of it, but I was at the office, so I got interrupted, couldn't watch the whole thing. So I got to go back.
She gave us such a good rub at the end. Like,
hey-o.
Like, for a wrestler to say, "These are my friends," follow them, support them.
Yeah.
Like, what wrestler does that?
That's big. Yeah. It's absolutely big. And if we ever get her on the grand stage, that's gonna be big. It's gonna be big for all of us. And we're all behind her. We hope that we get to pull something like that off. And
You want to say on that, EVP?
No, you guys got it good. Like, got covered. I still haven't watched all of it yet.
Oh, okay. So you'll let me know a little later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we're celebrating Black History Month here on the channel.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna do the greatest black wrestlers of all time.
Nice.
Now, I said it earlier. I'm making this big claim that Swerve Strickland is going to be the greatest black wrestler of all time.
We shall see.
Do you know what advantage he has other than all the other black wrestlers?
What's that?
It would be way more accepted now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Yeah.
So who's on the podcast tomorrow?
We have Kush, myself, and JB.
Nice.
Kush will be making that first pick in the black wrestlers of all time draft, I guess.
I got to see which one he is going to pick Ron Simmons first.
I was about to say someone better pick
Ron Simmons is gonna be a high pick.
Gotta be.
I still remember the iconic moment where he won the WCW title, and the whole locker just floods out to give him that hero's welcome.
Such a great moment. Yeah, that was a great.
Like
moment.
Ron Simmons, without that, the next would be Booker T, right? Or The Rock. This is a tough one because Rock's not really seen as a black wrestler,
but he is. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like
half Samoan.
Yeah, because he looks Samoan. He's so associated with that, and then
I think it would go Ron Simmons, Rock, Booker T. I'd have to put Kofi up there.
Yeah, you got to put Kofi up there. Yeah, you've got to.
I feel like Kofi was just a guy who got a bone thrown to him now.
But he's legit WWE champion.
Are we talking about greatest champions or just black wrestlers?
No, just black wrestlers. Obviously, JYD never won any title in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at JYD, and he's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw another name out there. Maybe you three will consider Charles White. Godfather.
The Godfather.
Papa
yeah.
Shango.
Oh, okay. Make sure you say his gimmick name because I forgot who that was.
Yeah. Papa Shango was huge when I was a kid. Yeah.
And then he went on to be the Godfather, which is arguably the greatest character in wrestling ever.
Was he Karma before that?
He was Kama Mustafa.
Yes.
Mustafa, yeah.
Then he was
good feud with the Undertaker during that time.
After the Godfather, he became the Good Father. He was in Right to Censor.
Yep. Yeah, he was fantastic, man. Fantastic talent.
I think a wrestler that was really underrated for the time, and I was a big fan as a kid, was Coco Beware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel Coco was never allowed. He could do some high flying. He could do. He was that brainbuster.
He was just never allowed to be himself in WWF.
Yeah, and Frankie was so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Singing, I'm a good, yeah. So cool, right?
You know who the black high flying innovator was, though? Too Cold Scorpio.
Oh, yeah. He was a very good.
Yeah.
Someone else.
I think he deserves an honor.
Horvath said New Jack.
No.
I feel someone who never really got the proper run was Elix Skipper from Team Canada.
Oh, yeah. Elix Skipper was really fantastic. Good. I mean, he had that infamous run across the cage. Off the top, yeah. I mean, they still show that to this day.
Oh, and that reminds me, you guys talk about R-Truth.
Yeah, first NWA Black champion,
2-time NWA champion.
It's gonna be interesting to see who gets picked here because we're getting 5 each. So 15. It's not a lot.
No, for me, like R-Truth may be the greatest comedy wrestler there ever was.
I would agree with that.
Well,
I typically don't like
I would
comedy
agree with
wrestlers.
that, but longevity wise,
that too. I mean, he's a 97-time 24/7 champion.
Yeah, like amazing. Also, like he was who was he originally? K Quick in WWE.
K Quick. Yep.
And like that's the end of the 90s, wasn't it?
That was
mid-90s.
early 2000s. He was teaming with Road Dogg. Yeah.
Yeah, it's K Quick.
Yeah. And then he went to TNA, where he won the NWA title twice, I believe.
Yeah.
He came back as R-Truth, and like he's been doing this for like 20 years.
He's been doing it for a while. Quite a while.
20, if not more.
I mean, he's like in his 50s, isn't he? Isn't he like 52 or something like that? But he looks amazing. He looks like he's 32.
I love that he's that old, but yet he always looked up to John Cena as a kid.
First black NWA champion.
Yep.
Yeah. The first NWA black champion.
Let's
Yeah.
see if I can think of any other black wrestlers.
I'm trying to think too if there's anybody else that
there's Keith Lee in the Indies. Like he was ridiculous. He didn't do much in WWE or AEW.
You got to give Big E a shout.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I give all of New Day a shout.
Ahmed Johnson, I don't think you'd give him.
No,
like
no, not Ahmed Johnson.
To me, Xavier Woods is criminally underused by the WWE.
Yeah. I remember him back when he was in TNA. His Consequences Creed, and he had like the Apollo Creed rip-off trunks.
He was exactly a Apollo Creed ripoff. He wore the USA flag shorts. He had the afro. Yeah.
I'm hoping that Powerhouse Hobbs does not get lost in the shuffle in the Domcast family because that guy's got enormous potential.
Shane, go to Shane's comment because we're not even thinking about women here. Awesome Kong.
Yes.
Awesome Kong is one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time.
Awesome Kong.
She's got to be on the list for somebody.
I got 5, so it's gonna be tough for me to pick out of all these people.
I tell you, Awesome Kong would probably be on my list. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just for the work she did in TNA alone.
And guys, we can't forget about Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley's up there. For sure.
Dude, Jay Lethal has to be up there.
Jay Lethal's got to be on there. Yeah. At least got to be close. I don't know if he'd make my top 5, but
there's going to be some people that don't make the list of the top 15.
Yeah.
15 wrestlers to choose from.
I mean, like, it is really weird. You look at, like, how far wrestling has come for black people in, like, the last 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
It is crazy how much they've gotten since, like, just compared in the 90s, where, like we said, the only really one of note was Ron Simmons winning the WCW title.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time before that first black wrestler in AEW comes. And that's Swerve Strickland.
It's going to be Swerve
by a mile, and it's not even close.
It's definitely going to be Swerve.
Literally, his stardom only goes up from there.
Yeah.
Like he's peaked, I think, as far as he can go without a title. Because he's over like crazy. So
I agree. Absolutely.
So, can you bring up Shane's last comment that says about Teddy Long?
Teddy Long, best black manager. Yep.
I'll take it one step further. For me, he's probably one of the best like GMs because he was never one of those guys like out to be the heel. Like all that was make tag team matches and one-on-one with the Undertaker player.
One-on-one with the Undertaker.
I would disagree as Teddy Long is the best manager. I would say that would be the Doctor style Slick.
Yeah.
It would be above him.
Yeah. I like Teddy Long as a manager. I like when he managed Doom.
I like Teddy Long better as a GM. Do
you remember the team Doom?
Yep, sure do.
They were so badass. Ron Simmons and Butch Reed.
Yep.
In the late
they had
80s.
the masks on.
Okay, that's WCW, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
Teddy
Long
awesome.
a referee as well?
He was a referee.
Yes, he was a referee as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's got around the business.
Yeah, he's done everything in the business.
Yeah. He has. He's literally done everything. He's been a manager.
He's a meme now with the Undertaker. You're gonna go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker,
I'm
player.
gonna go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Oh, was he doing this every weekend? I don't remember this era.
He's doing a lot. Yeah.
It was always either 1-on-1 with the Undertaker, or we're gonna have ourselves a tag team match, playa.
Yeah. That was always the two big memes going around about
Slick
about him.
was there when Brody was killed.
Down in Puerto Rico.
So was Tony Atlas. Tony Atlas was the one that was holding Brody, I think, when the ambulance was on their way.
Yeah, some evil person took out Brody.
Yep, and the well, they know who did it.
That's it.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's something that Colognes are going to have to live with the rest of their life.
I think this was a really fun episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just talking the news, shooting the shit. I think we're at an hour 45 here, so I think we should begin wrapping it up.
Wrap it up, sir. Wrap it up.
Like I said, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. We're not always on the Facebook gimmick here, so make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. I guess you can go check out our t-shirt store at PWT, and also we have another store on our Old School Wrestling. Adrian Adonis, we run his store, ProCTs/Adrian Adonis, and you can check that out. But on behalf of myself, Jeremy Isaacs, EVP Joe, raise your fist in the air and remember to just keep fighting.
Woo, baby.
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, effingwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.